How you guys doing, Toon Family? I'm Webtoon King, and today we've been going over Kagura bachi chapter 9. Instead of doing the chapter review like I was doing where I go throughout the story, I'm just going to talk about the main points and jump around the chapter, explain what I think was important in the chapter, what happened. So let's first talk about the chapter title. It's Entei versus Cloud Dodger. So obviously it's the main character versus Sojo. Sojo's the weapons dealer. So we're going to be talking about it. First of all, before I talk about the fight, let's talk about the main important stuff that we learned today, this chapter. First thing we learn is the Cloud Gouger abilities. There's 3 of them. I believe we only see 2 of them this chapters. The second one, they're explaining the importance of the dad to the story, how much people respected him, whether it's for the right reason or the wrong reason. And the wrong reason we're going to see with Sojo later down the chapter, why sometimes people can misunderstand what you're trying to do as a good person. We also learned there's an anniversary for the war that happened. We don't have an exact date, but I think this said it was 2 weeks 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. I'm not sure. Correct me in the comment section. We also talk about the misunderstanding Sojo has about the main character dad and why he made his sword, and his respect for the main character dad. Even though he doesn't know the main character is the son, I believe next chapter or 2 chapters from now, he's going to get an idea who the main character is. And then that's probably what's going to stop the fight, because outside that, Sojo is way stronger than the main character. That's the only reason I can see the main character surviving this fight, is whether Shibai comes at help or the weapons dealer Sojo just leave, because he learns that the main character is the son of the person he probably respect the most. So the first important thing we're going to talk about is the abilities of the Cloud Gouger. The first ability is Yui. I don't know how I said it right. I assume it's Yui. That ability is the ability that he used last chapter when he killed the Rosako Madako, the guy who's able to use fire abilities, basically bombs, explosive power. Basically, he used it when he stopped the bomb ability from going off until he walked out the car, and the guy killed his sister and himself. It was a savage. It was a very savage way of killing someone. You kill your sister that you thought was dead, but whatever. The second ability is Thunder, and this is what I mean when I said I was right last chapter, because I mentioned that since it was named Cloud Dodger, but we saw ice instead of clouds. I mentioned last chapter review that because it's clouds, he might have a lightning type of ability too, and stuff around the weather. So I don't think they mentioned the third ability this chapter, so we still have the third ability that he has to release probably next chapter. So that's all the chapter. And the Thunder ability is named Mai, M-E-I. The next thing we're going to be moving on is this chapter. We're learning about the anniversary. Like I said, it happened a week ago. We don't have a fixed timeline of what timeline is right now. We probably do, and I just don't know it, but I'll look into it. But it already happened. And the third thing we're going to talk about is Sojo's misunderstanding about the main character dad and why he made the sword. Because he made the sword, it was for people to use it to protect people. But it looks like the Sojo misunderstood, and he thought he made the sword for people to kill people. So what he did while they were fighting, while he was fighting the main character, he drops down and tries to use his lightning abilities to kill people, which in turn made the main character use one of his ability to use the sword like a lightning rod and take the lightning hit himself instead of people around them dying. and which is kind of interesting from the beginning of the chapter, the way they were talking about how the anniversary might be looked down upon if two of the Shanta Blades are fighting against each other, and it caused a bunch of casualties. So the son being able to stop that is pretty amazing, and I love that. Because at the beginning of the chapter, they were talking about the importance of the dad, how he stopped the war, and they also mentioned that they all had their Shanta Blades. So that's why you can assume it, and it's obvious they had it the whole time. This is probably going to be the first time that Shanta Blades distribute between good guys and bad guys. But the last war, quote unquote, the good guys had all the 8. What was this? No, it was 7 swords, I believe. Maybe 6. The main character had the 7th or 8th sword. I'm not sorry, I gotta remember that. But either way, that's how important the main character dad is. They have a picture of him in the museum, inspiring kids that come in to see his picture up in the museum. They have a holiday for the end of the war. So hopefully we get more information about the war. It looks like we are, because these last couple of chapters, they keep talking about it. Hope they might do a flashback, and maybe, like I said, that 3 chapters ago, I think Shiba had one of the sword. Azumi, I think his name is Azumi. One of the dad friends had the other sword. I'm gonna have a picture of him right here, Azumi. But that's basically everything we need to know. The only thing they talked about in the beginning of the chapter, that's why I said I was skipping around. I talked about the fight they had, Soldier had with the main character. Now let's talk about the beginning, which it was just about the importance of dad, how they don't believe the main character can handle Soldier, which ironically they don't know that the main character is currently fighting Soldier right now. So it kind of coincides throughout the chapter, coincides with what the Shiba and the other guys talking about at the beginning, coincides with what happened at the end. But them fearing that the 2 blades fighting each other will cause people to lose trust in them, it got prevented when the main character stopped the soldier from using the lightning ability of the Cloud Gouger to kill civilians. Well, I said stop, but the fight's not over, so he might still kill people. But the only way I see this fight ending is the main character revealing that his dad is the one who made all the swords, or Shiba shows up to help. But another interesting last thing, but definitely the most important thing that I realized while the main character was fighting Soldier, and him knowing the abilities of Cloud Gouger, I just realized, and I think a lot of people might have not even thought of this because it was so obvious, but the main character know the abilities of the swords, which might it might actually cause some of the villains to be caught off guard, because I think they might not expect people to know them. The main character know the ability, that's the cooldown time. Like remember when his dad was explaining the cooldown time for the thunder, the lightning ability that Soldier used. He knows the timer, that information about the swords that people might not know. People might know that, okay, this sword is a fire ability, but people don't know that if you go 35 degrees and hit him, he can't use the fire that direction. So that's going to be very interesting with him fighting other people with the swords too. Him know information that people don't regularly know, that people don't know. And then villains might get cocky and try to bluff their way into the fight, but the main character knows certain stuff about the swords that people don't know. But that was very interesting. That's definitely the most important thing. The main character knowing every single information about the swords. That's very important. But either way, tune for me. This is an amazing chapter. Hopefully, you guys go read it. From now on, I'm just going to talk about the important. Oh, man, what the fuck? My language is bad. I can't speak. From now on, I'm just going to talk about the important things that happen in the chapters instead of trying to do a rundown of what happened every 2 seconds. Subscribe to my channel. Just let me know what I can do to improve. Put it in the comment section. And like I said, I'm trying to do these webtoons videos, but I'm still waiting for a new webtoon to hit webtoon that I actually love, so I can follow it through the beginning to the end. Like I said, there's a couple contenders. Got a high school creator. I'm waiting for him to bring his webtoon back, and Hardcore Leveling Warrior. If both of them bring the webtoons back, I'm gonna keep track of both of them. I wanted to do Tower God, but I'm so far out that I don't feel like I'm going to be invested in making theory videos and all that stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Toon Family out.